To provide a forum for discussion with stakeholders on the progress that government at the federal and state levels are making in the implementation of their policies and programs. As I have said earlier, we are gathered here for the IBOM State Citizens Forum, which is presently transmitted live on the national and international television and radio networks, including streaming on the social media platforms. So, Your Excellencies, as we begin the IBOM Citizens Forum, may we call on God through prayers to take full control of this event on our behalf so that we have a very, very successful outing. So at this stage, permit me, Your Excellencies, to invite the Permanent Secretary Budget Office of Akwa Ibom State in the person of Pastor Nicholas Ekarika to please come forward and lead us in the opening prayers. Pastor Nicholas Ekarika.
Thank you for the gift of Akwa Ibom State, of our own generations. Thank you for our leaders whom you have given unto us. Thank you for this program. Thank you for this wonderful sightseeing of what you have used our leaders to do for us. We believe today that the eyes have seen and the mouth must speak. We're asking, oh God, that these meetings will be under your control and wisdom, that at the end of it, we'll give God the glory. And we say, Lord, may your name be glorified in Jesus' name. We thank you, Lord, because we know you have answered. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
To welcome the guests that we have in the house this evening. Your Excellency, we have in the House the National Good Governance Tour team led by the Honorable Minister of Information. They've been here for about 3 days now. Your Excellency, they came to see for themselves. They came to look at Akwa Ibom State. They've been doing this across the states. I think they've gone to about 25 so far. And Your Excellency, like you said and asked them the other day when they came on a courtesy call, you did ask what audacity the good governance team has by deciding to reduce the hard work of 6 years to mere 3 days. And you tasked the team to go out and come back with a report. Your Excellency, I am sure they will be rendering the report this evening. We went around, Your Excellency, and I want to say here that while we await the verdict of the team when the various speakers will be speaking, because everything we're doing here is being streamed on the internet, even on the field as we were, people were making comments, sending feeds on Facebook. I know that there have been very positive comments about Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, we went to the prisons, we went to schools, we went to hospitals, we drove through beautiful roads, we went through excellent infrastructure, we saw street lighting. The team saw so much that even last night they had to plead with us to stop. And we said to them, no, we cannot stop. They said we must stop, it's already late. We said to them that we have street lights and we can continue. We continued until the Honorable Minister said that if we continue that the video cameras will not see anything again and the reporters must file their stories and therefore we must stop. So Your Excellency, we stopped. We had to obey the Honorable Minister because he's a very senior member of the Nigerian government. Today, Your Excellency, I want to tell a very sweet story. We went to the prisons, and to the amazement of the Honorable Minister and the entire team members, a prisoner, a young boy, very brilliant boy who is serving 25 years in jail by name Inyabong, did say to the Honorable Minister that even the prison that he is serving is one, in quote, virtue of the uncommon transformation that the governor has brought to Akwa Ibom State. A prisoner, he's serving 25 years. The Honorable Minister had to ask him his qualifications. He said he's an undergraduate, that he was sentenced due to some altercations in his life, and that he hopes that someday clemency will come his way and that he will go out to teach people how to live a better life. Your Excellency, furthermore, we went around some infrastructure and schools yesterday. At some point, Your Excellency, due to the beauty around some of the schools that the minister saw, the minister forgot when he put on his goalkeeping prowess and went to the post and was looking for the ball, but there was no football. So we had to move on and went back to the bus. The SSG reminded him that there was no football there. Your Excellency, I want to recap by saying that it's been a very sweet experience in the last 36 hours and thereabout, and I will leave the rest for the members of the team. I'd like to very specially welcome all of you to AKWA IBOM State and say welcome to good governance. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, may I respectfully acknowledge all the existing protocol that has already been established. Well, I want to believe that AKWA IBOM is the last state we have visited so far in the South-South, having been to about 16 states. And I want to believe that the Good Governance Tour is a forum for us to assess the level of development at the three tier of government. This is also an opportunity, as far as I'm concerned, to identify and appreciate the challenges and even the environment which various communities in this country are living. For instance, one of our experiences in the South-South is that we're able to observe and acknowledge the difficult terrain within which this environment exists. While for us in the media, I want to also believe that this is a platform for us to perform our constitutional responsibility of informing and educating Nigerians about what is happening in our country today. Therefore, like in other states, and in line with the concept of the Good Governance Tour, we have the privilege of going around some of the projects that has been executed by this administration. We started with the with the Government House Lodge and Office, the Banquet Hall, the International Airport, the E-Library, the IBOM Tropicana, which we all consider to be a very high-profile quality project with state-of-art facilities, with beautiful and attractive architectural display in most of these buildings, which we are able to see. We also saw the strive of His Excellency, the Executive Governor, in areas of massive road construction and rehabilitation, flyovers, dualization. These, based on our observation, are also high standard quality projects that are strategically located to ensure easy access and movement within and outside AKWA IBOM State. We also saw the specialist hospital ongoing, the international stadium, the housing estates, the polytechnic, the reconstruction and rehabilitation of primary and secondary schools, the provision of instructional materials, the provision of compulsory and free education, and other policies and programs that will further enhance teaching learning in AKWA IBOM State. In fact, we see more and more projects, which I believe some of the speakers that will speak after me will be able to elaborate. Incidentally, the Honorable Minister, I remember vividly in 2010, when we had the privilege of having our National Executive Council meeting here in Oyo. Most of these projects which we saw are either at the foundation level or they are about 30–40% I'm happy to report that as we move around, most of this project has been completed and delivered. May I therefore use this opportunity on behalf of our team, which we discussed immediately after the tour yesterday night and this morning, to commend His Excellency the Executive Governor for transforming AKWA Ibom State. And most importantly, Your Excellency, we also observe that we saw similar concepts and similar programs in other states. But here in AKWA Ibom, we observed that these programs and projects are more scientific, well-planned and elaborate. It is also important, Your Excellency, to mention here that we also observe, because in the course of the tour, we are not making assessment, but we try to observe. And we believe that some of the second-term governors who are now in office are a little bit relaxed in terms of project implementation and commitment. But here in AKWA Ibom, we observed that the governor is not only consistent, but he appears to be moving above the level of development which he has achieved while in first term. We saw the governor initiating more and more projects and policies that will further enhance the lives of the people of AKWA Ibom State. I also want to say that, Your Excellency, that from what we saw, and going by the series of commendations by prominent personalities such as the traditional rulers, religious leaders, the academia, members, the social critics, the media, and of course the international community. This has further justified the number of awards that has been confirmed to His Excellency. I want to therefore urge Your Excellency not to relent. You should continue to be focused, and eventually I want to believe that you are going to leave a legacy that will continue to be fresh in the minds of the people of AKWA Ibom State. For the federal government, we also saw quite a number of remarkable projects. For instance, the modern facilities in the University of Teaching Hospital in Uyo, with ongoing projects that are in the university. We also saw the beautiful environment, the federal government junior girls secondary school, progress work at the East-West Road, and the University of Uyo new campus. However, it is pertinent for me, Your Excellency, to stress the need for sustainability, continuity, and maintenance of all the structures which we put in place. I also feel that since His Excellency has been kind enough to have rehabilitated or reconstructed most of the federal government roads within an AKWA Ibom State, there is also a need for government, especially the federal government, to also be kind enough and refund the money that has been expended in this project. The situation at the new site of the University Uyo, of the new site at the University of Uyo, I think the reaction of the Honorable Minister is a clear indication that all is not well with the university. There is therefore urgent need, one, for government to consider the issue of funding, as well as for the university to be more proactive in initiating programs and policies that will further ensure investment into the university community. For the Minister, I want to thank you most sincerely for initiating this good governance tour, and I want to confirm to Nigerians that this good governance tour is not in any way partisan, and it is not a guided tour. As I always emphasize, there has never been a time where the Honorable Minister interfered or tried to influence in most of our analysis or our presentation. We are not unaware of the critics of this good governance tour, but I want to assure the Honorable Minister that we are committed to the concept of the good governance tour, and we will continue to partner with you and your ministry in our collective effort and determination to ensure that we defend this democracy and ensure the sustainability of democracy and achieve good governance in Nigeria today. Once more, Your Excellency, let me congratulate you for raising the profile of democracy in Akwa Ibom State. Let me also thank the SSG, the Honorable Commissioner of Information, and all other commissioners and aides of His Excellency, as well as the members of the civil society organization and members of the Good Governance Tour for all your effort and commitment to ensure that the program here in Akwa Ibom State is success. Let me thank the entire people of Akwa Ibom for all the cooperation they have extended to us. Thank you.
The Governor of Akwa Ibom State and your wife, the Deputy Governor, Honorable Ministers, let me stand on the assisting protocol. Well, let me start this goodwill message from the biblical angle. And it was about the story of Queen Sheba and that of Solomon, which I will summarize within that 2 minutes. Now, when the Queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to test him with hard questions. And when the Queen of Sheba had seen all your words, had seen the wisdom and the words of Solomon, the house he has built, then he said to the king, it was a true report which I heard in my own land about your words and wisdom. However, I did not believe the words until I came, and I saw with my own eyes, and indeed, the half was not told me. Here, we've been able to see a number of projects as enumerated by the earlier speaker, but let me quickly just say that we saw a completely new government house started and completed by this government. We saw a fascinating and uncommon e-library, which I want to recommend for others in this country. We saw the state-owned airport, which is one of the best in Nigeria today. The one that is very, very amazing is the network of not only good, but very solid and very smooth roads across the entire state of Akwa Ibom, and also so many other very good projects. Well, I must also mention the theater that's already boosting tourism in Akwa Ibom State. Also, so many other wonderful projects. Some are still ongoing. The gigantic stadium under construction, that very ambitious specialist hospital, and a host of other beautiful projects. Your Excellency, I want to say clearly here that you have performed wonderfully well. There are so many governors before you. It's unfortunate, the military era was quite unfortunate in Nigeria. What you have done within a very short period has surpassed all the successes recorded for those military governors in the past. And what has happened in Akwa Ibom State is a confirmation of the fact that the worst democracy, I repeat, the worst democracy is better than the so-called best military government. For that of the local government, here I want to say that democracy is in full operation, because we saw, very good projects embarked by local governments. But of note is that very beautiful ultra-modern hall at Ezen Umon local government. Yes. Then for that of federal, we also saw so many beautiful projects by the federal government. But of note is that federal government secondary school, which I want to state here that it has also beefed the image of government, particularly in the speedy completion of that project. The East-West Road, fantastic projects that are going in the Federal University of located at Iyo and the teaching hospital. All in all, I want to say clearly that democracy is working perfectly in Nigeria. The era of military has gone, and it has gone forever. It can no longer come back, seeing the way our governors are working in Nigeria today. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister, let me round up this goodwill message by telling you that it is only projects that are not good that will not be criticized. Any project that is good will surely be criticized. When Osama bin Laden was eventually caught and sent out of this world, despite the fact that he has done a lot of havoc for the whole world, people still criticize the US on it. Even when Jesus Christ healed somebody on Sabbath day, he was still criticized. So no matter the nature, as long as you are doing a very good job, expect that they will criticize. But the level of criticism should make us to be focused. Don't let us be partisan, let us be focused, and I'm very sure all is well. Congratulations.
The Secretary to the State Government, please permit me to stand on other existing protocols. I will not go into the nitty-gritty of mentioning the projects. My colleagues have done so. But I want to mention the other aspect of this good governance tour, which people are yet to recognize. I want to say that the exposure and the enlightenment which it will bring, and it has brought, to journalists who have been traveling on this tour cannot be quantified. We have carried journalists from different parts of this country into other parts that they have never known. And beyond this tour, we're going to have another phase of journalism practice in this country, in which people will be talking, writing editorials and their news reports on issues that they have seen. And so you will not be able to fool anybody in the north about where Otueke is, nor where Etinan Oron Road is, and vice versa. So it is an important initiative by the Honorable Minister for Information and should be appreciated and supported by all. I will be talking here with benefit of hindsight as a daughter of the soil, and I want to say that the complete turnaround which has happened in this state is something commendable. It is visionary and it is futuristic. And the mere fact that all the jobs that we have gone through seeing are handled mainly by Akwa Ibom people, providing jobs for the lower cadre and the higher cadre, is something that we need to ask other state governments to emulate. During this tour, we have seen fountains without water. During this tour, we have seen classrooms without benches. During this tour, I must say we have seen a lot. But when we were crossing from Cross River State into Port Harcourt, and we got to the flyovers, all my colleagues in the car were clapping. Clapping because water was running in the fountains. Clapping because they saw what they had been hearing of, and it was a proof of what was on ground. What is happening here is a clear proof of governance through commitment, hard work, and sincere effort to positively change the lives of people of AKWA IBOM State. The products and projects here are focused, and what is more admirable is the continuity in governance in this state. We have been to states where former projects embarked upon by past administrations have been abandoned, and so we do appreciate what is happening here. At the airport, we were shown around the facilities, the world-class facilities at the airport, by a former governor of this state. I saw that as very significant. I admired that. And it also shows that the leadership here is very inclusive and participatory. 19 years ago, I served as the chairman of the tourism board in this state. And so I am speaking from a position of strength when I say that most of the projects we are visiting have really been engaged in turnaround perspective. I observed especially the NGGTour Tourist Center, which was conceptualized during my tenure. What I have come to see, and I saw again 2 years ago, is amazing. It shows that we have a visionary leader on the seat. Your Excellency, thank you for being very gender sensitive in this state. I observed that AKWA IBOM State has an impressive rundown of women involvement in governance. The Chief Justice of this state is a woman. The Deputy Governor of this state is a woman. The head of service is a woman. We have 4 local government chairmen. We have 4 members in the state assembly. And we have 15 permanent secretaries out of 36. But Your Excellency, I have a simple regret that we have only 2 women in the Executive Council of this state, representing women who form half of the population of AKWA IBOM State and who also produce the other half. I think we need to do something at that level. Your Excellency, something striking happened during our tour to other parts of the Niger Delta. We discovered that there was an institution, there is an institution, let me mention it, it's Auchi Polytechnic. We got in there and saw something I've never seen before, that a sitting rector of an institution had a campus of the institution named after her because of her significant contributions in that institution. This was very significant. Your Excellency, I wish that that wind of change that has blown through other states may blow through AKWA IBOM and see women celebrated in this state into whatever field of endeavor that they find themselves. My regret, Your Excellency, my regret, a short one, is the fact that we were not able, we had no time to go through the life enhancement projects which we've been reading about and hearing about in the news. But I want to conclude by saying that, Your Excellency, this life is like a book. Those who went to school before us have told us that every new day turns a new page. For all that you have done for AKWA IBOM people, may your book at the end of your tenure be a bestseller, full of adventures, achievements, and data profound. You have done a lot in AKWA IBOM State. Generations of AKWA IBOM people will not forget you. Thank you for your leadership.
Your Excellency, the Governor of AKWA IBOM State, whom before now we have had cause to criticize in the media. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister for Information, a comrade from the People's Movement. Let me first remark that civil society leaders have observed that when it comes to government programs, we are really not well encouraged. I must observe that. But I know there is always room for improvement. I said we have had cause to criticize this government before because we were inundated with reports about insecurity, violence, and kidnapping. So I was mandated at some point to issue a powerful statement. And my coming down is to come and see the state of affairs here as the spokesperson of the Pro-National Conference Organization. And I've taken time to diligently look at the state of affairs in AKWA IBOM. And it was very surprising that the kind of reports that we got then was non-existent. We have had cause to call the governor here as sponsors of a nest of kidnappers. We have had cause to say that, I must confess. But I came purposely because we are in this program to critique and to improve it. We are not here to celebrate government or to praise government. But where we see government do well, we will say it. Because we represent the conscience of the Nigerian people. And we have had cause to also say that the good governance tour or the good governance team is one that should be encouraged. Because we have come clearly to look at it, to see how it is working or how it is going to be. And we have seen that the good governance tour, for the first time, has brought about a thorough engagement between the Nigerian people and their government. We have also seen synergy built between the federal government, the state government, and the local government. But however, I'd like to quickly say here that in all we have seen big projects, we have seen good projects in AKWA IBOM. I want to implore, and government generally, that we should do something about cost of governance. It is very important that we do something about cost of our projects and devolve more of our resources into the pocket of the Nigerian people. Because the only way that we can ensure stability, security, is when our people at the grassroots are empowered. It is when they can have food on the table. It is when they can have money in their pockets. And so I want to implore government at the federal level, because we went to the prisons there, and I'm saying this to the Honorable Minister here, who is a comrade, that the federal government of Nigeria is trying to take too much. The federal government naturally should have no business with prison. And we have seen that it is the state government here that have done marvelously well about this prison situation in AKWA IBOM. They built they gave them the entire facilities, and federal government president was nowhere to be found. So we are saying that this point is making a case for what we call devolution of powers. That the federating unit, I mean the state, should be saddled with more responsibility. because Akwa Ibom has shown to us that if you give the state more responsibility, they will deliver. So I stand here today to say that the federal government should try as much as possible to devolve power to the federating unit. Lastly, let me now commend the kind of environment that we saw in Akwa Ibom State. We have seen that nobody was kidnapped. There is no insecurity here. And so we like to commend what is going on here, but we like to appeal and also advise that the government here should not rest on its oasis, but should continue the good work. I thank you very much.
Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, the Honorable Minister for Information, Comrade Labram Maku, all protocols duly observed. A very good evening to the people, great people of Akwa Ibom. May I start by thanking and appreciating the Honorable Minister for this laudable idea in terms of deepening the gains of our democratic experience in Nigeria. We really want to thank the Minister for upholding our own tradition, that is the tradition of inclusive governance. For us, the idea of the town hall meeting is so important to the extent that we see it as the major pillar of the National Good Governance Tour, for which we are proud to be part of, in the sense that it affords citizens the opportunity to engage their leaders. It gives leaders the opportunity to account for their actions, and so therefore it is an important aspect of the entire principles of democracy, which is inclusion and participation. A lot has been said about what was observed. A lot has been said about what was seen, and we have also had the opportunity to also hear the comments and the views of the state government here when we paid a courtesy call to the governor. During the courtesy call, when the governor was reacting, before God and man, I was within myself saying, look, what is this man bragging about? When we went round, I really appreciate the governor of Akwa Ibom. We saw physical, infrastructural, and a lot of, transformations. We saw engagement. We saw service delivery. We saw that in Akwa Ibom. Having said so, I want to observe, Your Excellency, we have seen a lot of investment. But then we noted, or rather we observed that there is the need for an improvement in the area of, commerce, private sector involvement, in terms of linkage between investment, and commercial activities that my a colleague was raising, talking about the idea of, empowerment. We all know that Akwa Ibom State is largely a civil service state, and there is the need to promote economic activities independent. Rather, the state should facilitate, the development of economic and commercial activities in the area of commerce and other, development. Similarly, we also observe that there is the need for an improvement in the area of agriculture. You have good land. There are a lot of potentials here. we were at Oron and we saw vast land that could be used to develop those areas, agriculturally. Finally, Mr. Chairman, sir, or rather, Mr. President, sorry, I'm sorry if you, for the use of Mr. Governor, sir. We were at the State Polytechnic and we have seen some interventions. May we also ask, because the students were humble enough, they appreciate what the state government has done to them, and they were asking for more interventions. And there is the need for an intervention in a lot of the higher institutions in the state. Like the NUJ president has said, I was once a NANS president. I had cause to visit this, the University of Uyo. We haven't seen any changes. And I think the state government ought to come to their aid, particularly even in the area of, trespassing of their lands and so many areas that they did cry for. The state, it could be a national university, it could be a federal university, but majority of the students are from AKWA IBOM, and I think we appreciate the effort of the state government for partnering with the federal government in ensuring that services are adequately provided for its citizens. We thank you much. We thank you very much. And we finally, I know AKWA IBOM to be a vibrant state. May we also appeal to the state government to ensure that the culture of participation is broadly included. I will want to say that in some of the states we have visited, a lot of non-governmental organizations did accompany us to some of these places that we went to. And we will want to see more of that in AKWA IBOM state. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you, the good people of AKWA IBOM.
Every other protocol is duly respected. Many have spoken. They have spoken on various subjects. When they called me, I wondered, what else have I to say? But something we have to add to what they have said is that in crossover states, something that strikes me is this, that the AKWA IBOM state, in AKWA IBOM people can now raise their head high in esteem. In the past, if you were looking for a house girl or house boy, come to AKWA IBOM state. But now, AKWA IBOM state people are looking for house boys and house girls somewhere else. That alone, building the spirit of the people high, is good. You see, another thing that I have taken note of is that good governance is not just the structure that you see. Good governance is what impact have you made on your people. Good governance is what example have you laid in respect of leadership. I am looking at AKWA IBOM. The problem that I have when you look at development in AKWA IBOM is, can this be sustained? That is what Ababioism that I see in the blackboard following Nkrumahism should lay down. An ideology of sustainability. After him, what comes? It's a project that I think that he has to begin to back on, inclusive of this wonderful development that I have seen. Another area is area of the welfare of the people. And I read in books, and he himself has said that he empowers women, he empowers farmers, or the government empowers women, the government empowers farmers. But we also have to monitor this empowerment for the success of the projects that they have been financed for. So in areas of agriculture, unless you monitor these finances you put into this empowerment, you will see that not much will be seen in production. We have not seen government direct intervention in agriculture. We've not seen the big farms that we saw somewhere else. But I know that the big farms are through the people, and that is sustaining the people in development. I want to commend the governor, I want to commend the government on that, and I also want to say that this work that you have done here, the federal government is also, of course, all of you have seen, is also impacting on the development in this state. And so if there is synergy, like the minister used always to say, if there is cooperation between the federal government and the state government, development will be accelerated. Thank you.
The Executive Governor of AKWA IBOM State, Her Excellency, the wife of our governor, the Honorable Minister of Information, the Honorable Minister for Science and Tech, the Deputy Governor of AKWA IBOM State, the Speaker. Please permit me to stand on already established protocol. A lot have been said, which I wouldn't want to dwell much on that, because I am a citizen of AKWA IBOM State, and all of these things are well known to me. But first of all, let me send my President's greetings to all of you who is unavoidably absent. We know this is a season of Commission of the Statues of Women, which normally holds every year in New York. So she's there to represent the women of Nigeria. Good people of AKWA IBOM State, I want to first of all say that all the Nigerian women are in support of Mr. President's 4-point agenda, and we are very, very glad to see what is happening in Nigeria. And I want to commend the Honorable Minister for this wonderful tour, though tasking but very rewarding. I'm just going to make some few points which will enable the Nigerian women to know their rights. At least we have gone round, we have seen actually that the federal government is working and the state governors also are working. And we are so pleased to see what is on ground, and we are very grateful to Mr. President and the wife for giving women an opportunity to serve in the Federal Executive Council. And that is all the more reason why the Nigerian women are honoring Mr. President alongside with other NGO in April. Coming back to my state, AKWA IBOM State, have been privileged to join this team to few states. And I kept telling them, when you come to my state, that you'll see the difference. And I'm sure, and I'm glad they have all seen with their own eyes. I want to really say that our governor is a passion-driven man, and all this has happened because of the relationship they have with the wife. When the base is in order, then you can know what happens outside. So our governor has expanded into all parts of the state and has applied the EDD concept. The wealth distribution has been well placed. Every sector in AKWA IBOM State are well represented. And through Her Excellency's Family Life Enhancement Program, a lot have been put in place for the women. You have just seen the projects, but there are other things that are intangible, that so much money has been sunk into. The women of this state will be glad to tell you that they are very happy with this administration. I'm not talking because I am from AKWA IBOM State, but women are well taken care of. You've never seen a government that gives free access to pregnant women. Even you meet a pregnant woman on the street and ask her what is going on in AKWA IBOM State, the first person that will talk to you will be the child in the womb, because that child will move. So things are happening in this state, and I'm very happy with the Honorable Minister because This will give our women outside Akwa Ibom State the opportunity to know their rights and will stand up for their rights. They will go to tell their governments in their various states to please do something for us. Do what is happening in Akwa Ibom State. And I want to especially thank the wife of the governor for all that she has done for the women of this state and also the governor. Thank you very much and God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Indeed, it gives me a great pleasure to be here today as a member of the tour team and as a friend of Nigeria, as a Nigerian. Thank you. Now, let me quickly narrate that the first time I came to Akwa Ibom State by road, I was in the presence of another governor, and the moment we entered this place, the first thing they told me is, this state has money. And I wonder now, I thought, why? And somebody said, oh, can't you see the difference in roads? Now, the truth is, the moment we entered the state, I knew that this is a different place completely. Now, looking at it, one wonder that even with money, it takes vision and good leadership to be able to execute something. And that's what you have in your governor. Many of the speakers have already mentioned what we saw. Your Excellency, with due respect, where credit is due, people should give that credit to the person. And in this respect, credit is absolutely due to you for a wonderful transformation that you're doing in this state. Now, looking, of course, into the Good Governance Tour is a project that is very, very important because, as we have noted, it became a platform whereby the electors can interact with the government. And this is the opportunity for each and every one of us to be able to do that. Now, I'm speaking from the diasporan angle that, Your Excellency, many cities and many countries in the world are used as example, whereby people say, I'm going on a holiday to so place and to such place. And looking at Akwa Ibom State, I want to say Akwa Ibom State can become the destination of choice in Nigeria to be able to transform and bring in international investors and partners. Nevertheless, Your Excellency, we know the only thing that people can remember anybody with is the legacy they can leave behind. Because when we're all gone and departed this world, the legacy we leave behind is what people can remember us with. And I hope that you will be able to find good people that will continue the transformation agenda, the uncommon so-called transformation agenda in the state, and for that, in Nigeria. Likewise, Your Excellency, we have noted that you have representation within the diaspora in your government. Now, as a person who's from the diaspora, I would like you been now the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum. This is non-political, but it is very important for us from the diaspora. We send money back home to our families, our brothers and sisters. More than $13 billion every year. And I think Nigeria, as the biggest black nation, the most populous black nation in the world, should be able to allow the diasporan community to vote. That is the only thing that the diasporan are looking for. And that, Your Excellency, including our Minister of Information, we hope that will be able to be pushed for the sake of the diasporan who have continued to contribute towards the national development of this country. Finally, Your Excellency, we notice the stadium and other places. What I'm praying for is, because of the history of our dear country, to make a provision whereby you can discount for the youth, 50% discount on time of ticket, so that at least these facilities can be used, and we will engage our youth. By engaging them, this will reduce poverty. It will give them something to think about rather than thinking about the European football and the European sporting competition. This we require, this we pray for. And to the people of Akwa Ibom State, we wish you all the best, and may you continue to rise and rise for the sake of Nigeria. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Akwa Ibom State and the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum in Nigeria. Your Excellency, the wife of the governor, Your Honor, the Deputy Governor, distinguished senators, my colleagues, the Honorable Minister, and our guests. Please permit me to observe all protocol. On behalf of all the members of the National Assembly, distinguished senators and honorable members of the House of Representatives, we welcome you first. I want to say that all of us, in one voice, as one, support and stand with the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Godswill Obot Akpabio. And we extend the same support in unison to His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I want to say that at all times, in times past, you used to have situations where you have Akwa Ibom front, Abuja front, under the leadership of Dr. Godswill Obot Akpabio in his first and second term, and at all times, you have Akwa Ibom team, no front anywhere. All of us are one, working together. When you observe him having a national outing in Abuja or anywhere, you will find the 3 members, 3 senators, and 10 members of the House of Representatives and members of the House of Assembly with him, showing that it is one government, speaking with one voice, moving in one direction of Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, it is your leadership that has led to this, and our commitment to move Akwa Ibom as one people. Your Excellency, one thing that has happened and one thing I take in this message and what has happened in Akwa Ibom and to Akwa Ibom person. Akwa Ibom person, from the governor to the least, to the smallest person, is no more timid and cannot be intimidated in this country and by this country. We've come of age and we stand in a committee of states in this country to say we can represent the country, we can speak for ourselves, we can speak for our country, and we are bright enough. Some of us who were present at the commissioning of at the launch of the instructional materials today by His Excellency the Vice President, those who were privileged to see those children from a public school, the Christ the King Primary School at Barracks Road, you would know that that is the standard quality of the Akwa Ibom child in public primary school. And if that happens in a public primary school, not just in a nursery school, but in a public primary school which the governor has transformed, then that is the standard of Akwa Ibom State of today and Akwa Ibom State of tomorrow. I want to thank all of you, and I want to say thank you, and thank you for coming to Akwa Ibom. Thank you very much.